Today we're going to be comparing specifically the Rainbow power nozzle and the Rotho power nozzle. Just kind of have a look at them, inside of them, and see how they work and how they function. Let you decide which one you think is actually a better product. Now, when I take the top off of the Rotho here, we've already undone the screws on it. I'm just going to set this over to the side right here. You can actually see kind of a unibody construction or theme going on with it. The pieces are solid. They're actually completely assembled as a single piece. Now what this does is it fundamentally keeps air from being wasted or leaked throughout the power nozzle. So all the air that's coming in there is actually being focused on cleaning. Now another thing I want to point out a little bit that's hard to see is not on the underside, but actually on the top side is where our belt is. And this is a geared belt. And what that means is it never stretches or slips. It sits on two gears. It's just really, really well designed, really solid construction. Now the other thing we've got is with our brushes is we've got what's called a chevron design. Everything is moved right towards the middle. It all gets moved in this direction. And just about all the way to the edges, I've got airflow hitting the floor. Now, let's take a look inside the Rainbow right here. We're going to go ahead and turn this over. And in order to get the Rainbow open, I'm just going to pop these couple of pieces off. There's a few things that strike me right from the start. Now, with the Rainbow, you've got these brushes, and it's kind of a neat idea. And what it does is it moves the stuff that sits on the top. If you're going down the edge of a baseboard, there's a couple of pieces of lint or things like that sitting on top. It's very, very good at moving those towards the center. But what doesn't happen is that you don't get close to the edges for actually cleaning the dirt in the carpet at the bottom of it. There's no air flowing like there is with this one right out towards those very edges. Now another thing is that this doesn't, it has a two-piece construction, and what's happening is I'm going to go ahead and flip this back over. What's happening is we're relying on this little seal that comes all the way around here to become nice and tight so that we don't lose airflow. And another thing that we've got inside of here is we've actually got just a stray piece of hose that's somehow stuck in here. And if you come up close and you look at this, you can actually see right down through. You can see light coming through there. Now what happens is, if you watch the test that we did earlier, the Rainbow basically has the same amount of power as the Rotho, but at the end of the hose, it didn't have nearly the amount of power that the Rotho did, and the Rotho even has a longer hose. So what happens is we lose a lot of that power because air leaks in and out of the system really, really severely. And this would be the best example I could give right here. We've got a straight piece that kind of goes into this hose, and it just kind of sits loose in there so that air can move any direction. It relies on being seated down in here. But functionally for me, the worst design with this vacuum is that number one, the bristles are split. So you still get a little bit of the chevron design moving to the middle, but you're moving it right into the belt. Now, there's no possible way, no matter what argument anybody makes, that dirt's not hitting both this side right here, there's the hole it goes into, and hitting this side right here. Now, as sand and grit goes under there, it's going to cause that belt to stretch. Now, the belt might not ever break, but what happens is you simply lose a ton of cleaning ability because the belt slips and the power nozzle moves quite a bit slower than it would normally.